Boxes. Hear me, hear me, hear me. Boxes are how you understand objects in 3D space. You want to get better proportion, understand boxes. You want to get better at perspective, understand boxes. Boxes, boxes, boxes. Now I have to drill this in, even for my, because you know, doing the whole box thing can be quite boring. You know, it's not sexy, it's not that appealing. But if you look at your favorite art piece, your favorite composition, or just your favorite objects around you, you'll be able to fit each one of those things into boxes. Everything takes up its own space, and then you can take a certain object and put it within the volume of a box. And I know we want to be creative and feel free when it comes to art and creating things, but even in freedom, there are rules. Half the reason why people get frustrated or give up is because they don't have building blocks or building boxes. When you have those things set or use those things to test out how you're going to do something, then a lot of the work is done. A lot of the mistakes are made in the simplest way without dedicating too much time to a project or to a figure. But then also you're learning a lot at the same time, faster. Now, the way I like to think of it when I'm drawing a figure in 3D space is almost like a sculptor. So a sculptor has a huge block of marble or whatever they use to sculpt, and then you place that volume in said space, and then what you would do with what you have envisioned to make, you've already decided where you're going to have that block. You've looked around, you've looked at the composition, you've looked, is this the appropriate place to have this thing built and kept, right? Because once I've made my decision to put it here, it's staying here, right? For the most part. Cool, the block is there. Now I'm going to shape that block to my will and make it a cool figure, a cool house, a cool car, whatever it is that can be within that volume, I'm going to shape it. So I'm going to shape that block into what I want within the confines of that block space, if that makes any sense. I know I said a lot there, but I think it's a good way to envision it, especially when you're doing 2D. You have to be able to try your best to imagine that 2D plane, which is your paper, and then imagine depth. 3D space. Always think about 3D space. That's how you know when something is close, far, up or down, horizon lines, all this kind of stuff. And boxes are a good way to help you with that. Boxes, perspective, boxes, gesture drawing, boxes, lighting, they all go hand in hand. And then you can turn those boxes into more organic looking shapes. And as you get used to it, you won't have to use the box because it'll be envisioned in your head. So you'll see without having to draw it. And then when you start to draw, you'll have that invisible box to help you. We have examples of artists who are great at this, like Kim Jong-ji and Peter Han and many other artists. So please don't skip over the principle of using boxes and primitive shapes. Get your reps in, start boxing, and do your best. You'll become more intuitive as you keep doing it, right? Just have patience and perseverance, okay? Homework. What I need you guys to do is to draw 20 boxes on a page in different angles, from different perspectives. If you haven't learned perspective, get into that, draw a perspective grid, and then put 20 boxes in that. If you are quite adept at that, then find some figures, find some objects, and then turn them into boxes. Find a composition, break that composition down into boxes. Make a scene full of boxes. Maybe it's like cityscapes, and then break them into boxes. Maybe it's a scene from a live action film. Put each character and the actual scene behind them into boxes. Things like that. Be creative with it and, you know, post it. Then DM me your work or tag me in your work, and I'd be happy to see your progress and your perseverance, right? Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Have a lovely day. God bless.